Hey, everybody. Thank you for
Hi,
showing up
everyone.
tonight.
Hi,
Hi.
everybody.
I'm Brittany.
Hello.
I'm I'm Brittany, and we're here to talk about Andy Signore and everybody's experiences with him tonight. And we'll do introductions. Everybody state who you are. And we'll do introductions.
So, I'm
Can you
Jade.
guys hear me?
I can, yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead, Jade.
Yep.
So I'm Jade. I started talking to Andy, I think it was around October, October 22nd of 2022. Um, yeah, bad experience all around. I mean, I'm not gonna say that because at first everything was cool. He seemed like a super genuine, thoughtful, caring guy. Um, but obviously that's just what he wanted me to believe, and he definitely knew how to play the game. So, yeah.
Yep.
Hey, everybody. I'm Nola. I think I started watching Andy during the Free Britney movement, and I started working with him in headlines right after the Gabby Petito story came out. Um, and yeah, I ended up having conversations with him and experiences that weren't as bad as Jade and Britt, but I ended up having some poor experiences myself. So, anybody else? Shadow?
All right, I'll go. I started watching Popcorn Planet during the Gabby stuff too, and I kind of stayed in the background. Um, gosh, I guess until I joined Headlines.
Yeah.
Lola and I joined at the same time, and then we both got modded in December, and then by mid-February, no, the end of February, we were gone. So it
Shadow.
wasn't.
Oh, sorry,
Sorry,
Laura.
I was just gonna say it wasn't a positive experience except for the friends I made. That was it.
I
Hello,
agree.
everyone. Hi. Hi. My name is Shadow, if you don't already know. Uh, and I was here. I was, oh gosh. I started following Andy definitely during Gabby Petito. Um, and when I was there, I think, Britt, it was just you, me, one other person. There wasn't very many mods there when I started.
Not at
Although,
not at that time. No.
yeah. Um, and I think those that have kind of been following us over on Saggy's channel knows that there's so many different aspects to Andy and Popcorn Planet that that's really what we're here to do. We're just going to talk about the parts that you don't know but aren't as, what's the word I'm looking for,
Aren't
lady?
the aren't isn't the sexual aspect of it, I would say.
Right.
I mean, basically, like his bullying tendencies, right? The way he treats people in general. Would that
Yeah.
be
Yes, and
Yeah.
the manipulation
your
that he
personal
used.
experience?
Hmm.
Yes.
Right. And because I think for those of us that didn't have a sexual experience with Andy, I think after all of us kind of being around and listening to all these women talk about their experiences, and it's been very eye opening because, I mean, for me especially, I know, like, if we were talking this time last year, um, and when I would hear people make comments about, oh yeah, like they're just like a disgruntled employee or somebody that got fired and then they're mad. Like that would really piss me off because I just took everything so personally there. But then it was kind of like it just gave me a new perspective that I was thankful that my situation wasn't sexual. And, you know, it kind of gave me a minute to step back and really focus on other people that were hurting and went through some crap, you know, but not to make all of our experiences smaller or anything like that. It was just kind of, we're going to pivot a little bit and look at the asshole side, not the pest side. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So again, so who wants to start with their personal experience with Andy? Shadow, since you're kind of already.
I'll let Lola go, because I don't want to, like, you know, mine is a lot that you and I can kind of bounce off of each other. So how about Lola, take it away, Laura?
Okay.
Yeah, and hope everybody will forgive me. I'm kind of new at this, so bear
We're
with us.
running this StreamYards by ourselves, y'all. So have some patience with us.
It's a learning curve. So, Shadow and Britt's stories overlap a little. So do Laura and I's, because I think we joined Headlines on the same day, and we also got modded the same day.
Yep.
I knew that he had a headline group before us, and from what I could tell, everything was going fine. But he had asked if anyone new would like to join the headline group. So there were a few of us that joined, Laura being one of them. And what we didn't know at the time was the headline group, when we joined, it was non-paying, but you were going to get educated on how to make YouTube videos and the back works of YouTube and stuff like that. Um, I thought it would be interesting, and I had time, so I said, why not? Well, when we got in the headline group, there were still some of the older headliners, and they were told when they joined the headline group by Andy that it would be on an internship basis only. Like, they would do sort of an internship, and then at the end, if they did well enough, it would become a paying job. That never happened. Instead, he pulled all of us in. So when we got into headlines, it was already some tension there. Um, and he knew it was going to cause a problem because, Brett, he added you and Will to the headline group to make sure there was no beef, right?
Yeah, he told me to kind of watch over it, like I didn't, because I told him I didn't really want to be part of that anyway, because he had asked me to at one point, I believe, and then I said nah. But then he had me and Will like in there to, yes, like keep an eye out for any of the, like, yeah, beef, as you put it.
Yeah, and that's
Lola,
yeah.
can you answer for the chat what a headline group is?
Okay, so the headline group basically is a group
Does all
that
the work.
works as a unit. So on Telegram, we had two general chats. One was called the headline chat, and the other one was the headline links, right? So in the headline chat, we would talk to all of the other people in headliners and just get to know one another, stuff like that. And the headline link page is where we would put links to all of the articles that we would find throughout the day, and we would put them on a document saying, like, this was the most important story, and then this is another collection, and then finally this is like miscellaneous stories in case you run out of things to talk about. You can pick anything of these, and then we would paste them, and we would copy and paste them into our headline chat where we were all talking, and pinned it to the top of the page, so Andy had immediate access to it when he woke up in the morning. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am, it does. And I mean, you
Okay.
guys would basically, yeah, just
Yeah, so
post all those
basically,
topics in there.
right, all we would do is the night before, in the morning of, And the morning of was way more chaotic because he would change everything and say, no, this isn't good enough. So then we only had like 3 hours to like put together a whole show, which is hard enough in of itself. But anyway, we joined.
Um,
Go ahead.
I just wanted to add, like somebody in the chat just put, "That's a lot of work." Did you? Yeah, like
It is a
they
lot
did
of
this
work.
for free. They did
And we
this
did
for
it for
free.
free. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we went into it knowing that we wouldn't get paid for it, but we were also guaranteed the experience of learning the the backstage of YouTube and how to make YouTube videos. And he made these promises that he just wouldn't fill. And the people before us were promised to get paying jobs at the end of it. So I don't even think he made that bad of a promise to us that he didn't keep, but whatever. Um, in headline chat, we became close with a lot of people, and like Laura was in there with me. The first day that we got to the headline group, I asked if somebody can make a document that we could just like post links on. Kim, it's Kim, joined headlines with us that day, and she jumped on making a document, and we just automatically bonded. We would work together, we would post links together, we'd work on the document together. So, I mean, we became really efficient when it came to that. Laura would step in a lot, like when I wasn't feeling good. She would step in and say, "No, I got you. You'll be fine." Casey, another headliner, used to do the same thing. Um, there was a guy by the name of Phil that was in the headline group, and he started messaging Kim. I don't know if any of you know Kim's background story. It's not my place to say her story. If she said it, then that's fine. But Phil started messaging her, and she came to me and she was like, "Lori, I really feel uncomfortable. Would you be able to like help me with this?" And I was like, "Yeah." I mean, at that point we were friends, and I figured I'd save her. So I messaged Phil and was talking to him about the headline group. Well, then he decided to take it upon himself to become, I'm not going to say that he was harassing or anything like that, but I am going to consider it him being overly familiar with me. And he would constantly send me hearts all the time. And it was just like, this is getting ridiculous. Um, at the time, I told Britt and Joe everything that was happening, as well as me telling Will. Will decided that everything was just fine, and he started mocking me about it, saying that um, he started calling us Wilson Phillips and that we are going to get married and I'm going to have his babies and all of this. And I'm like, this is no help. Like, you're mocking me. And not only would he do it in the telegram, but he would also do it on the lives. So I was subjected to that. When it finally got time to where things annoyed me enough, I told Kim I was leaving, and me and Laura both contacted her at one point to tell her why. And we had heard about Britt's story, and we didn't tell her Britt's name, but we told her what happened. I also told her what was going on with Phil, and she said, after the live is finished today, I'm going to get on a Zoom call with Steph and Andy, and we're going to fix this. So she went ahead and did it. And she said, look, they don't want you to leave. All they want, what they're going to do is they're going to take Phil out of the headlines chat, but he'll still be in the headlines with the links. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, what difference would that make? He would still have contact with all of these women. He did it to Kim. He did it to me. What would stop him? So at that point, it was the weekend. Monday morning, Laura and I had started talking to one another. It was early in the morning. And I was like, I don't know what we're going to do. And Laura said, let's go. I said, okay, let's go. And we just left and never looked back. And it felt, I guess the only feeling that I can describe is like, I felt hounded by Phil in a way. I feel like it was humiliating to be teased on a live by Will. And I feel like Andy and Steph didn't care about what was going on in the community because people in this community were harassing people and they they could care less. And then once all of this started playing out, I figured now I know why they like to keep those around, to kind of take the fall for them. So,
I see a comment, Savage Karma. Which Laura B are we talking about here? There's a Laura B who's a different YouTuber, and then we're talking Simply Bell. I think Simply Bell, you had a different name in Popcorn Planet, right?
I put it as my name here, Laura R, aka Bell.
Right.
But
So
I think there's a Laura B that's a mod for Tug, and then there's the real Laura B. And I believe that's who we're talking about.
yeah, so this is Laura R, aka
Right.
Bell.
So when you hear Lola talking about Laura, she's talking about Simply Bell here.
Yep. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Confusing.
Also, I wanted to mention that they were planning a Vegas trip, and was it April, Brittany?
Yes.
Yeah, it was supposed to be last April of 2022. 2022.
Okay. So we were planning on going to Vegas, and they knew that we were planning on going to Vegas. And Kim told me that she wouldn't tell me exactly the words Steph said, but they told Phil that he couldn't go to Vegas with anyone. So that's what they did to him. Told him he couldn't go on vacation in a free country. But anyway, that's
sort
my
of
story.
like sort of like a teacher punishing you for like pushing another kid on the playground or something.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't think
they
anything.
basically act like they can control you.
Yeah, and I don't think they did anything to Phil to protect other women by getting harassed by him himself.
No, they didn't.
No, not at all. And that's what was upsetting. But Kim knew everything that we knew because again, I was close to her. And she decided to stay when we all left. And about a week later, she was co-host after that conversation she had with Andy and stuff. So
yeah, and then she got her own channel.
And then she got her own channel. Yeah,
and they promoted it. Yep.
Yeah, and
so
that
she got rewarded.
She did get rewarded. And the thing is, it was like we were so close. It took me so long to heal from that trauma that we went through because I was like, she was one that I went through a lot of things with, But anyway, that's my story. Anyone else want to go?
Shadow, Laura, or Simply Bell?
I answered anything. I pretty much already told my story on my blog, on my channel. And Lola pretty much covered. She pretty much covered it. The only thing I would add
didn't you have your own experience, like conversation with Andy?
Well, I don't know.
He told me. Do you remember what I told you? He had told me that you were this nasty, like shit-starting person, basically, and that he heard that you were bullying people in the community. And what did you say that
sorry.
conversation was actually about from your side of things?
Well, both Shadow and I got into trouble for posting a link to oh shoot, what's the Raven's Nest or whatever? I don't remember, whatever Wancho's channel was.
The Raven's Flock. I used to call it the Raven's
Flock,
Nest all the time.
right, that's it. My brain went blank. Yeah, we were trying to, because he was having a subathon, and we thought, we thought he was a good guy, and so we posted, we were posting links in the Telegram chats and Popcorn Planet's Telegram and then Nerd Reports. And then all of a sudden they all got deleted, and Lewis is like, only links to Jody's Corner, Popcorn Planet, Nerd Report, and Stuff the Alternate are allowed. And I was like, wait, what? But Wancho, he's like a mod. He's been here for forever. Why are you? Because we've been getting all of this spam. And I'm
Okay,
like, well,
real
what?
quick, let me jump in right at this point, because that's kind of where this is why the shit hit the fan, y'all. And she's right. Like, we were doing this subathon for the Ravens flock. Lewis decided to come in and tell us we couldn't share links anymore in his Telegram group. And I was like, okay, cool, and left. Like, I left his Telegram group because at that point, the only other link that was ever shared in his group was we all had made our own little side group called the Witchy Women, and I believe Witchy Mama would share. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know Witchy Mama's in the chat. Hey,
Her Twitch link, yeah, mm-hmm.
Yeah, her Twitch link. That's right. So for myself, I was thinking, you know what? Okay, cool. Everyone else's but ours. Gotcha. And I left that group, which then I didn't tell anyone to leave with me, but a fair number left also. I went in my own private chat that I had set up for our New Year's Eve call and basically just vented out like how I felt. And it was just kind of like, I wrote it out and then I sent a voice message because you can send voice memos in Telegram. And I did it that way so it wasn't mistaken what I was writing. So everybody could get my tone. And I said, like, it is within Lewis's right to make any rules he wants in his Telegram. That's not my issue. But I also don't have to be there. So then we had, shitsters, troublemakers, whatever you want to call her. She decided to screenshot the written part of what I said and gave it to Lewis. And so that just started 3 days of absolute bullshit. Like relentless bullshit. And Belle, unfortunately, I think you were the only one that was actually kicked out of Lewis's Telegram, correct?
I was, because he singled out Witchy Mama, and I was like, but nobody was posting links in his chat. His chat was pretty much dead. And so I kept asking him questions, and suddenly I got removed. That's the only place I was booted out of.
Yeah. Yep. And all she did was ask a question. That's it. And, Lewis. And now to this day, Lewis likes to point out how he started all of this. He started pushing all of us out. And no, he didn't, because at that point, for myself, being one of the most visible active mods, if anyone was there during that time, I was not there as Shadow. So, but I was there every day. Like, Britt was there usually every day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But when I left, or how do I want to say this? Being so active and being so visible, right? So all of this shit was going back and forth, just around and around. And of course, you know, because the community at the time was so small, we had other people still in those groups that would then tell us, well, look at this, this is going on, all of that, you know, we were getting sent screenshots. And, you know, like I said, this whole thing started with a screenshot being taken out of context. And then a couple of days after it was beyond ridiculous levels, Andy kind of got involved and was like, basically told me to just apologize, that I never should have said anything, that it was my fault for assuming what his community was for, meaning, how dare I assume that I could make friends in his community and that they would want to support our side ventures or, you know, talk to us personally. That wasn't what the community was there for. And
his community.
Yeah, his community. It was his community, not everyone. And I didn't want to apologize, but I did. I wrote Lewis and apologized for having feelings, basically. And he wrote me back a response that was kind of like, "Oh, I know who you are. I don't have a problem with you. None of that was directed at you. You're more than welcome to come back." And I was like, "No, you couldn't pay me to come back." But did I say that? No, I just left it go because all I wanted it to do was stop. Just, you know, the attacks in Nerd Report's Telegram, just them relentless talking shit, feeling like it didn't matter, like no matter what I said, it was wrong. And then we had another situation that kind of popped up at that same time. I don't know how I want to say this. Somebody in the community, in Lewis's community, actually, decided to attack us on the Witchy Women channel. And that then ended up with Andy and I on a phone call. And it was during that phone call that I was told to just take responsibility for all of it because, you know, I'm just a troublemaker. And I said no, but I wouldn't take responsibility for gossiping when Andy, Steph, Lewis, all of them were talking just as much shit behind the scenes. And even some in the public, you know, chat that we were seeing. You know, it was being shown to us, the things that they were saying. But it was also in that conversation that I told Andy, if I'm the only one gossiping, Andy, how do I know this? And I told him what I knew. And I told him that I knew about him and Brittany. And I have to say the silence on the other end of the phone was, I can look back on it now and say it was beautiful. Because there was also another woman that I'd known about, and I told him that too. And that I got stutters and no, you don't know all the details. Like you don't know all the story. And I told him, and I was like, I know this much of the story, you know. But yeah, and that there, ladies and gentlemen of the chat, that's what started the whole. He told me he was going to restructure and maybe just, you know, wipe out all the mods and start over and, you know, to kind of calm everything down, so to speak. And I said to him, yeah, I'd really appreciate it if you would remove me from all of it. Like, just take me out. I want nothing to do with it. And I also told him, you know, he should probably think about who his inner circle is a little bit more. I don't know how much you want me to say, Britt, but like, you know, once other parties in mine and Britt's kind of inner circle there knew that I knew other things, they were also very forthcoming with the information they had. So,
yeah, I mean, no, you can say what you want. Basically, I mean, when all this had started going down, I was in like, I felt bad for you all, and I felt between a rock and a hard place because
Right.
you know why. And
Right.
so
It's one of these things that, like, I'm gonna jump quick here because I'm gonna let Jade talk just because I know she's on a limited time. But I will say this: I knew about, like, Brittany and I were very close back then, and in that, and she told me, I don't want to say it was like September, right? I think September.
No, because if you mean like when the sexual like aspect of it started, that wasn't till October 28th. So
Of 2021?
2021. So when I
Right.
posted my free Brittany pic on October 28th of
No. I mean when you told when you told me what was going on, it was.
I would say that was
significantly.
probably in November, most likely late November.
Right.
Maybe that because he kept sending the videos by then. Actually, it was probably before that. It's just I don't have any of that conversation between me and you anymore, really. Do you?
Right. I probably do. I'd have to look. I'll look at that and get it to you at some point because we could always put some of this stuff up on Twitter too.
Oh yeah.
Just to kind of back up what we're saying with receipts, because y'all know we need to have these receipts of everything that we're talking about. And believe me, everybody hearing my voice right now, I can show these conversations that were had. But yeah, sorry, I was just gonna say, why did we stay? Why did we stay when all of this shit was going on, right? Like, why not just leave?
That's because we had all grown. Everybody grew close to each other, and and Andy's like, oh well, I think he said that to you. You can't be friends with people in the community. This is my community, or something like that. But we, people had grown close to each other. So like what bothered me most of all was like, I was worried everybody would hate my guts and like turn on me. I mean, at the same time, it's like I had made these connections with you, Shadow, and Lola, and even Will at the time, because I thought he, was a better person than what we ended up finding out. But I didn't want to lose those connections. That's what people don't understand. It's like, and it's just like an abusive relationship. It seems like it wouldn't be hard, but it is hard to leave things like that. So.
And you know what made it even more difficult? It wasn't only that we were close with each other, but we also pretty much ran the Telegram chat. So you got into close relationships with multiple people in Popcorn Planet. And you felt like, we stayed on Telegram chat all day and night too,
Right.
and we were genuinely concerned when people would go missing, or if we haven't heard from them in a while. So we cared about these people. And that's another reason why we didn't leave. It's because we didn't want to leave all of them behind knowing what we knew.
Right. And to give a little bit of perspective, because I know a lot of the people that are kind of chilling with us tonight were in the Telegram groups either during the Johnny Depp trial or after. When we were in the Telegram chat, there was only 400 people in there. And yeah, that's a big amount, but like after we left and he blew up, there was like over 1,000 people in that chat. So for us, it was 400 people. Some weren't active, but of the ones that were active, we had literally made it a point to check in with everyone and make sure that at least every day we were talking in those public chats because we had made ourselves available to people. Like, hey, if you need anything, even just to talk, let us know. I set up that private group because we were coming up to, Christmas and New Year's, and that's a hard holiday, a hard season for some people. And so I had said, if anybody doesn't have any plans on New Year's Eve or you're going to be alone, let me know. We'll get you in this this group, and we literally did a video call for Christmas or for New Year's Eve. Just hung out, talked, drank, was silly, but like we had people in there that, you know, were afraid to like talk on the phone and afraid to be on camera, and we had them coming in, and I had said, you don't have to turn on your camera, you don't have to talk, but at least come in and just know that you're not alone, because that's the vibe that we sent out for everyone there. And
can I also say that, like, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no, you're okay.
He also started playing, you know, our connections against us, our friendships against us, where it started to implode from the inside out.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
but
well, the
go
thing
back to
is,
the New Year's.
no, Britt, I have to say, like, when he knew that I knew what was going on, Andy knew that he had to separate you and I. Like, it would not have been a good thing if you left or if I left and then you followed. So he had to set that up so you and I would not speak. And I'm sure he thought, at least in the front of his brain, that we wouldn't speak ever again, you know. So, and then also, like, the day that we left, of course, we were still watching the live, and all of us got to sit there and watch him say, like, yep, everybody's gone. I need new mods. But you know, if you're over emotional, egotistical, if you need thanked every day, if you're on a power trip, if you're crazy, if you're a bitch, if you're a mean girl, he's like, I'm not talking about anybody specific, but like, I don't want any of that. Now, Andy, when you go ahead and say, I don't want all of these, you know, these personalities, or if you have any of this, don't bother asking to be a mod. It's human nature to be like, wow, I wonder what happened. Like, where's Jolene at? Like, where's Nola Lola? Where, you know what I mean? Like, everyone knew that shit went sideways, but they didn't know why. And that's when Andy started his lying and all the other crap.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off, but Real Pamster, she says, I have a question. How many hours would you spend moderating this Telegram stuff and the other platforms? I'm glad you have each other. Many in our community are survivors. You deserved better. Thank you, Real Pamster. How many would you guys think?
Well, for me and Laura, doing headlines and the links and setting up the show for him, plus moderating his lives and moderating the Telegram chat, I would say it was pretty much round the clock.
Right. I would say my availability was all the time. Like, if anybody needed me, all they had to do was send me a DM and I was there. As far as the live streams, it depended on the topic, on what was happening. So we could go anywhere from 2 hours to 4 hours. I think the longest stream I did was the charity stream, which was over 6 hours. And I was there from the start till when it started until it finished.
So
yeah. And Saggy asked, did any of you ask to be a mod? No, absolutely not.
Yeah, I didn't either. I was actually really shocked when he made me a mod, because I'd probably only been hanging around the community about a month by then, and then one day none of the mods were there, like Will or Emily, and he just said, oh, I got a surprise, and the next thing I know, I was like, there's a wrench by my name, and I'd actually never even had that happen, but he said it was like because of my positive attitude all the time and all that good stuff, which I am pretty nice, unfortunately, but so that's how I became a mod, and I was just like taken aback, like surprised about it, but also like almost like it's almost like a form of flattery just to get, I mean, like I never even knew it was a big thing, really,
Well,
So,
and I want to say, I'm pretty sure myself, Britt, I know, Simply Belle, and I believe Lola. We were mods for Andy, Steph, and Lewis.
Yep.
I was too. I was too, because I was actually on Lewis's channel one day when he had like moved us all over there, and Andy said you should make Brittany a mod. That's how I became a mod on Lewis. And then
Same.
Steph one day just made me a mod out of the blue too. So like
Right.
it's all they're all connected. So it's more than likely, if you're gonna be a mod on Andy's channel, you're gonna get modded on Lewis and Steph's. So
Right.
if you go
Right.
there.
Steph
Right. So
modded
then
me.
that adds to when he would jump, like say when Andy would end and then, Lewis would go live, we would just jump right over to there. So sometimes, but by that point, I wouldn't stay for all of Lewis's live streams. So I would stay for maybe an hour, if that, half hour, But
Yeah, it was
so,
nowhere near same, because it's like we were more, I think, loyal to Andy, but because he was loyal to Steph and Andy, it's sort of like that whole aspect of that grooming or whatnot. We felt loyal to them,
Right.
even though we weren't as into their channels, maybe.
Right.
So,
But yeah, like, so Jade, jump on in here, because like I know you're under a time.
Okay. I'm ready. So
can I just say he was talking to me and Jade at the same time? But go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
At the beginning of this, I said it was October 22nd, 22, but it was 21. And I was about 3 months postpartum, so I was going through a lot. I started messaging him. Well, no, I just sent him a message and asked him how to comment on like his lives and stuff, because I'm like not tech savvy whatsoever. Like I literally have only ever used Facebook until recently. I got a Twitter, but so like he cleared that up for me, and then he added me on Instagram, and then he started liking my posts, like my pictures and stuff, and then shortly after that, like within like I would say about a week's time, he was like flirting with me. I had no idea that he had a girlfriend. Well, no, he is engaged, so I had no idea that he had a fiance. Um, Even though like I had his Instagram, I didn't ever go on it. Like I wasn't ever interested to check out his life like that, I guess. Um, so yeah, we ended up talking and basically just getting to know each other. He seems like a really nice, caring, thoughtful guy. Other than like how creepy the flirting was, I wouldn't say that like there were any red flags of other than like the flirting and how persistent he was. And on my Instagram there's like pictures of me and my family, my boyfriend and my son. So he knew I have a son, and obviously I talked to him about it. um like our conversations would get deep. I would talk about my postpartum depression, my just like anxiety, um SA, DV in the past. I was like 14 years old when all that happened. Relationship problems, struggling with staying sober. I was on his live one time, basically just to get uplifting messages from people and stuff like that. I was also at the time living in a very rough area near Detroit. So like we were constantly, like cars were just getting broken into. There was always CSI vehicles in our apartment complex. Last July, actually, I was buckling my son up in the car seat, and my boyfriend was driving. Well, he was in the driver's seat, and we heard what my boyfriend thought was fireworks, and I said, go, drive, because my son wasn't buckled in all the way. He kind of was hesitant about it. I'm like, just fucking go, you know. Later we found out that my neighbor committed suicide, so like the thought of like stray bullets and just all that kind of stuff, you know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was just, I was just very stressed out, and Andy knew about it, and he promised that he would help me get out of that situation, the area, really. I didn't know what he meant, but I thought it was like a thoughtful thing to say. You know, just basically just him telling me, you know, everything's gonna be okay. You'll get there. Um, what can I do to help? That type of thing. Which obviously there's not much that he could have done, but like I said, just him being thoughtful and saying things like that, it just meant a lot to me. Um,
Yep.
so
It makes you feel seen and
right, cared
heard.
for.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's understandable.
Makes you feel special. Important.
Yeah. So then he ended up after like commenting on my pictures and telling me, you know, how beautiful I am and all that kind of stuff. He asked me if I would be interested in a website called, I want to say it was called Stars.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And it was like some cryptocurrency type thing, and I have no idea about like crypto anything. Like I've heard about it, but I just wasn't interested. I didn't know if it was a scam. I didn't know, you know. But like my boyfriend and I, we've talked about me starting an OnlyFans before, so like I wasn't like completely opposed to doing it. I just didn't want to do it under like his whole crypto thing and whatnot. And there was already so many people doing the OnlyFans and having like good things to say about it. So I told him that, and I was just kind of like, you know, I don't really trust that. He tried to get me to go to Vegas because they were doing some type of something there with the Stars thing, like a convention, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
At
he
least
had like some of their girls with them.
Okay, yeah. So that's what he tried to get me to do. And I was just like, no, I didn't feel comfortable doing it. And he was like, well, if money is the issue, you know, I got you. I can get you out here. We could get you started, and you would make so much money, and basically just like gassing me up, you know what I mean? And so then I told him, no, I'm just not interested in that. If anything, I would start an OnlyFans. My boyfriend and I, we've talked about it. But I just haven't had like the motivation to start it yet. Like I said, it was only like 3-4 months postpartum at the time.
Right.
So let's see. He eventually talked me into doing the OnlyFans. Well, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say he talked me into it because, like I said, it was already a thought. And my boyfriend and I, you know, we talked about it, the things that I would be able to do on the site, things that he wasn't comfortable with me doing, just stuff like that. So I told Andy, you know, like I started it, and I hope that I can start making money, and then I'd be out of this place, and hopefully things will start looking up soon. And he told me that so he told me different ways to like advertise my OnlyFans. And he said, if you start an Instagram under your like OnlyFans name, then you can kind of like promote yourself. So I'm like, oh my God, that's a great idea. You know, I'll do it. So I did it. And I absolutely sucked at talking to guys, no. like the flirting aspect of it. Yeah, I'm just terrible at it.
That be available but never be available.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so he was asking me how it was going, and I told him I was trying, but I've got a 3-4 month old son, and it's a lot of work.
Right. Jade,
And
not to interrupt you real quick. I just want to
yeah.
answer Bill in the chat.
Mhm.
They are still around, but I think that at this point, we'll probably touch on that another time. But as far as them coming on and talking, I think they just want to move on with their life. They got out of the toxicity that is Popcorn Planet and are focused on like their wedding and their future. So I gotta, give them lots of love, send them love and positive energy towards them. But yeah, that's where Mike is. Mike's like he doesn't want to get involved in any of the crap because he got out of it and has better things to focus on. But we can talk about those two probably on our next show. Sorry, go ahead, Jade.
Can I also just say something? Sorry, Jade Shalgal. She said this is really sad because most of his 700,000 subs are women who were DV or SA survivors, and he tried to take advantage of you all, knowing you had already been victimized, sick. And that's another thing that I think really needs to be drummed into people's minds because there's
That's
so many. Yeah, I mean, and it's. I think he looks for that vulnerability with women.
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
But anyways, Jade, go ahead.
Okay, so anyway, told him that I had started all that stuff. I forget where it was. Instagram. I wasn't good at like the flirting and all that, and so he said, "Oh, guys are just they're just horny pervs. They just want you to just give them a little bit of attention and just kind of, you can give them like a sneak peek of things blurred out, and then give them the link to your OnlyFans, and go from there." And I tried that for a while, and I just felt like I wasn't doing it right or saying anything right, and he was like, "Well, listen, if you give me your username and your password, I will go on there, I will pretend like I'm you, and I will talk to them." And I was like, a couple days I had to think about it, like, I don't know, because then he's gonna be able to see things, and I didn't feel comfortable with it. But then again, he was such a nice guy to me. He was so thoughtful, and he just seemed like someone I could trust, I guess. And then not only that, but just like his content that he made, it was always like supporting women and just things like that. So I ended up giving him the username and password to my Instagram. Eventually, he asked for the OnlyFans username and password. So, I mean, I was trusting him, so I was like, okay, help me out here.
So he was gonna go in and pretend like he was you. That was what he was telling you.
Yeah, like in the messages to the men.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to make light of it, but like everybody, just get that mental picture for a second. Andy was going to go in and flirt with men for her.
Yeah.
Not,
okay. I mean, basically, didn't he say he was going to get you a large following? And...
Yeah, I like verbatim said that he has built himself from the ground up twice, and there's no way and no reason that he wouldn't be able to help me out. That's what he said.
Got it.
Right. And I completely trusted what he said, because he did. He built himself from the ground up twice.
And he's good at coming off like he
knows what he's doing, and yeah, he cares, and just all that kind of stuff. And So yeah, he ended up taking content of mine, and he had sent me a video of himself doing some things to himself. In the very beginning of the video, he was in his studio, like where he records everything, and he clicked on a folder, and I'm not even fucking kidding you guys. He clicked on a folder that said my name, and it was all of the things that I have sent people on OnlyFans and even Instagram, like photos and stuff. He like made like a compilation of them all together and clicked play and started doing the damn thing. And
Jade.
yeah.
Oh, never mind. You sound good now. It sounded like your volume went out for me.
Okay.
Did it sound like that for anybody else?
I hope not.
But you sound
No,
you
it
sound
sounded
clear
fine
now.
for me.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But I wasn't the only name that I saw in the folder when he had clicked it. I saw other people's names and other little folders. So I didn't think anything of it really at the time when I saw like the other people's names, and I couldn't even tell you whose names they were now because I was so focused and infuriated, I guess, like and grossed out, mostly grossed out. And I didn't know how to respond to what he sent me. It was just awkward altogether. It was just very, very weird.
Well, for you, it was probably like some 40-ish-year-old man, some 40-ish-year-old house husband or something, like hitting on you, and you're young with a baby. Sorry, I had to. I had to.
I mean,
no, I mean it's serious. It's serious. Can I just
Yeah.
add something here? That after I had my falling out with Andy, my friend had told me, well, around the same time as you, he was messing with a young girl with a baby. And I was like, that's fucking sick. And not on your part, on his part.
Yeah.
But because, I mean, at the time, I think she mentioned she thought you were like only like 18 or 20 at the time. So for me, that was like, because I know he's in his early 40s, I believe. That's like he was a grown man when you were born.
Right. I think I was probably 20. Wait, how old am I now? I think I was 27 at the time.
Oh, you're that. I didn't realize you were that. I thought you were only like 23 or 22.
Oh, no, that's okay.
Well,
Yeah,
at the time, she made it sound like you were exceptionally young. So
I look younger than I am. I always get carded and all that good stuff.
That's good.
So it was just in to recently found out that not only, okay, listen up guys, okay, because this is for real. Not only did he see my content, but he had sent out my content to his friends. So for him to jump on the whole, when Saggy posted that video of him doing that, he was so quick to call out revenge porn and, oh, it's a deep fake. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. Oh, they hacked my phone. But yet you're out here sending my videos and my pictures that I never even gave you consent to save or share or like anything like that. Like, what?
Yep. That's what's so fucked up about it all. That's what makes it 10 times.
It makes me sick to my fucking stomach. It really does.
Yeah.
And I cannot believe
that.
Without
you did not consent to that. Without consent.
Well,
Britt,
I mean,
didn't they keep didn't he share your pictures and
Yes.
stuff without consent?
Yes. because I didn't find out until after I had the falling out. I found out from her that he shared my stuff that I sent because she knew what I was wearing, and I knew it was true.
Right, and
When
Saggy
I
didn't
was
show
wearing.
anything of
Yeah.
Andy, but
Yeah.
Andy showed everything of us.
Right.
Yeah.
And see,
Exactly.
this,
So when he wants to talk about revenge porn, he has some fucking nerve. Because
right.
I
Well, the thing
removed
is,
my
hold on.
consent from everything 10 days later. Okay, go ahead, Joe. Or Shadow.
No, sorry. I was just gonna say, when we went to Saggy to talk about this, the thing is, it's called journalistic integrity, right? Like Saggy had to make sure that was what Brittany had was actually real, right? So that protects her. None of us saw that. You know what I mean? No, none of us have seen the full, enchilada. He wishes. Anyway, but so it's like this, we're not talking about that. We're talking about, hearing that he's sending, and if he sent Jade's and if he sent Brittany's, you think he's
Then
going to stop at just those two?
no, it's
Right.
probable that he did it to
No,
everyone
there's
he
many
talked to.
more.
Yeah.
He's
And the
shared
other
his partner with
I
people.
agree, Saggy.
right,
I
that's what I was about to say. Like he even recorded him and his partner doing intimate things and offered y'all to watch it, right? And
Yeah, and
saying,
even said if she finds out, it's over between her and I. There's no way
right,
she could find out.
right. So
And
that was probably done unconsensually as well. So, I mean, he's absolutely disgusting.
And the
and then
fact
he's gonna
is like,
freak out. He's gonna freak out when I let her know what's going on.
Yeah.
He had
Yeah.
a
and
fit
people,
about that.
Brett, what were you saying?
no, I mean, it's just when people still defend him, it just really grates on my nerves because it's like, regardless if I gave consent, but the fact is I removed consent and he was sharing my pic with somebody that I
Right.
was stupid enough to let him see.
But
And
you gotta you gotta remember though, Brett, like in the beginning, before everyone knew about you and Jade's story, the only thing that he would ever talk about is April. And he got away with it with April by the skin of his teeth, because he had that one text of consent because he stood over her and made her delete all of her tweets. So, I mean, all of their text messages. That's the only way he got away with it. And he tells his community that, he is just like Johnny Depp. He was Me Too'd. He's a victim in all of this. And he only mentions April, but he fails to mention the other 9 that came forward at the same time. He had to have been fired by Screen Junkies because he was such a ticking time bomb.
There's
Jade,
numerous women. There's that whole blog with does anybody remember the blog, the man's name?
Nick Monroe.
Yeah,
Nick
I have
Monroe.
Yes. There's so many women's names in that blog alone that have just been forgotten about and swept under the rug.
Yep.
Jade,
I'll
there's
go ahead and post it in
Jade,
the chat.
Jade, there's a
Yeah.
question in the chat for you. Shalgal asked, did he not send a PI after you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He sent a PI after me. That was after. Jeez, I don't even remember how this started.
That was
I sent him.
fairly
I'm sorry.
recent, right? Because that was
Yeah, that was right.
after Brittany had come out. Right.
Yeah, this was. Oh, I don't remember what month it was.
November or December, I believe.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It was. Yeah, it was close to Thanksgiving.
Yep.
But basically, I saw that Britt came out, and I was asking questions. I was asking him questions, and he was like, basically like, I'm so confused. Why would you believe what these women are saying? You know I'm a good guy. I would never do something like that. Da 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 da. This and that. Blah blah blah. And then I'm like, okay, but what about like you begging me, offering me $1,000 to come to Florida to have sex with you, even though I said no multiple times. I mean, multiple times. When I would say no to him, he would ask why, and I would say I didn't want to be like, oh, because you're fucking disgusting. Like I'm not gonna be like that, but I was like, I have a son, I have a boyfriend. I'm not just gonna leave them. Like he knew that we were struggling enough as it is, so I'm not gonna leave my family here to struggle without me. That's just harder on my boyfriend, and that's not fair. Um, and I wasn't interested in him in that way. Um, and so he was like, "Well, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, why would you believe them? This and that." And so I had sent him screenshots of things that he had said to me, basically saying things that he would say, like, "I miss you so much," and "Please just come visit," please, like literally begging over and over.
Right.
I know Saggy had posted screenshots of that somewhere.
And you guys, you can obviously check out that. I know. I think I just saw Saggy post a link.
Yeah, and it's all over my Twitter too.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
and hopefully, just everyone, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this more than once because we've got like so many different avenues to talk about. Right now, I know we're over an hour. So, if are there any like questions in the chat that you guys have, things that you want to know about that we could probably answer?
Thank you, Saggy.
Hi, Joey. I saw Luna Mia was in the chat. Hey, Luna, how you doing? Miss you, girl.
So yeah, he sent that. Well, it was because he was questioning me. About why I would believe them, this and that. I sent him the screenshots of things that he said that were questionable, and basically things that Brittany came out saying, because he would say the same things to me, and I was like, why in the hell would I believe you when she is saying the same exact things that I stopped talking to you for, like the same reasons? Like, I don't understand. And so after I sent him the screenshots, he was like, "So what do you want, money?" And I said, "No, Andy, I don't want for your fucking money. If I wanted your fucking money, I would have took the $1,000. Like, make that make sense, first of all."
Right.
And then he was saying things like, what was it? What was it? Oh my God, exploiting or no. Defamation. I don't know what the hell it was.
Extortion. It was extortion.
Yeah, he was saying that I was trying to like extort him for money and this and that, which absolutely not. Okay, he has no proof. Because it just never happened. All because he said, "So what do you want, money?" And I think he thought maybe that if I said yes, then he could get me for extortion. But I didn't say yes. I said no, flat out no. That's not what I want. I want this shit to stop. Because now I know that everything that these ladies have been saying for the past like months, maybe even like a year, it's all true. And you're a piece of shit. And you don't deserve this platform because you are hurting women.
Right. What did the PI want from you?
The PI wanted me to send one specific screenshot, which was him offering me $1,000 to go to Florida. That was the only thing he wanted.
Jade, off topic, but at one point, can you go into you not knowing us that well and then contacting us and coming out with your story and like how do you feel with us now and stuff like that?
Yeah, so
Can I just answer Bill here?
Bill, real quick.
yeah.
Yeah, even if there was some even if Bill said, even if there was some consensual phone talk between some of you as he sent stuff to others without the consent, couldn't that be reported to the cops to start the paper trail to go after him? It's not really something we're saying like publicly. Yeah, it could be, definitely. And that's just something we're not really talking about at this moment, kind of. But it is definitely a possibility. I just don't throw around the sue word like Andy does, or defamation, or. But
Right.
what he did is considered revenge porn, in my opinion, and definitely.
And in the court of law.
Right.
Yes, and in the court of law.
Yeah. To be fair, Andy likes to use that dog whistle word, you know,
To scare
legal,
people.
right? Lawsuits, you know, legal actions. Those are all words he likes to use to keep people quiet. And the fact of the matter is it? Can it? Should it? Sure, Bill. But you know,
I just want to also say that I removed my consent 10 days later. October 28th, and then November 8th, I said I want to remain platonic. And tried to basically be nice and let him down easy. But I was never comfortable with him, nor was I attracted to him in that way. And I felt like I've said in my previous video, I had some really low self-esteem. It was a community like where he was lifting me up to eventually tear me back down. And I just want to say I removed consent. That's what people seem to forget, is that I removed my consent, and then
very clearly too.
Yeah. And people are like, well, she consented. Well, no, she removed her consent. Sorry to break it to you. And
which may have been what happened with April. Just saying.
Right. And I think
And the thing is, it's like what people seem to forget is once you give consent, and just say it was an intimate act that y'all were doing, if you consented to it, and then during the middle of that, you say, no, I can't. If you continue that, it's considered rape, is it not?
It is.
Yes.
So I think in that aspect, it's kind of, I mean, when you withdraw consent, that's it. That isn't, oh, I'm going to go ahead because I have one text of consent. And I think he's doing that because all he had was the one text of consent from April.
So to answer your question,
yeah.
Your question was how I felt about you guys.
Oh, right.
And then
like what made you decide to reach out to us and how you felt. Yeah.
So at first, when I heard that these women have turned against him and were acting all crazy or whatever he would say about you guys, obsessed and all those kinds of words, I was like, wow, what a bunch of bitches. Like literally. Because he was telling me that he was gonna help me out, and he just seemed like such a great guy. And this was before obviously any of the bad stuff had happened. So I remember even going to someone's channel and being like, commenting just mean stuff that obviously now I feel terrible about. And I've apologized. But he tried so hard to get me to not even check out the channel or anything like that. He didn't want me to have anything to do with you guys. And it didn't really like ring a bell, I guess. It didn't like raise concern, just because I knew if someone was talking shit about me, I wouldn't want my friends to go over there and listen to what they're saying. Um, so that's just kind of how I saw it. But then, once I heard Brittany's story,
Hmm.
I forget who I went to first. I think it was Saggy, because I had saw it on her channel.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And basically like, okay, well, I've got a lot of things to say, and first thing I need to say is I'm sorry for the mean things that I've said in the past, which I highly doubt that like my specific comments were anything to remember, like to be remembered by you guys. Um, but just how much like care you guys have
Hmm.
for just the women involved with Andy is so like heartwarming. And I wasn't gonna say anything. I wasn't gonna come out like publicly at first, but then once I saw how like comforting and caring, and like how much you guys genuinely did care about how I felt, and you would say things like, "Well, no, you don't have to go public about it. I mean, just get it off your chest, or talk about it privately to us. We won't say anything." And you guys didn't say anything, and
Right.
that made me feel like I had someone to go to and to talk to about this, and vent, or I guess ask questions, really anything like that. And then once I realized like how down to earth you guys were, I was like, okay, well, I need to be the next person to tell my story, because Brittany had already, you know, told her story, and I don't want people to think that Andy is like innocent in any type of way, because it's disgusting. The things that he will say to get what he wants is absolutely disgusting. And I was blinded by it
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
how much I thought he genuinely did care about me.
Yeah.
And
And
that also could be just the way my brain works from like the essay and DV from when I was 14 years old. Certain things like that. And yeah, I'm just,
Jade, the thing is, it's like you're not the only one to feel that way. Like that's I think the shocking part about this situation, because like we've kind of been hearing it over and over again. He literally says the same thing to each of the women individually. And
mhm,
a thing that I want to say, and I'll ask you, Jade, and Brittany together to answer this also. I know that there have been women that have not come forward yet. A lot of them are afraid, which
mhm,
each of us here were also at least different levels of fear. You know what I mean? Like fear of not being believed, fear of being attacked, fear of being, silenced legally, all of that stuff.
mhm,
But the other aspect is the embarrassment and the shame and the like, what if people judge me for this? Here's the thing.
right.
None of us would judge anyone, right? Even
Absolutely not.
if, because we've had women say, like, I went into it, you know what I mean? Like, I approached him, and like, so, and I believed these women, and they go into something thinking it's going to be one thing, get into it and realize, well, this is awful. And then not only are they like never spoken to again or treated differently afterwards, but they have that embarrassment, right? And they feel, like, oh God, I don't want to admit that. Here's my thoughts on that. You do, like, the ladies, right? Y'all did nothing wrong. Absolutely nothing wrong, right?
Mhm,
You don't have to carry Andy's dirty little secret. That's not on you to carry that secret. You're not the one that's engaged, playing house, with kids, all of this stuff. And there's no judgment here from any of us. And I doubt that anybody watching, right, would judge you either, just because, again, like I said, after you speak or after he gets what he wants, you're literally tossed aside.
Right.
So,
I would also add to
you
that,
guys,
Shadow, that like I wouldn't want anyone out there to go through it alone.
right. Did you guys feel that like embarrassment, fear? How do you feel about that now?
I
zero
feel empowered.
Empowered?
I am not embarrassed at all. I am empowered. Like every time somebody hates on me, I giggle and laugh at them. When I'm reading my Twitter, if somebody comes and says something mean to me, I'm just like, huh, okay.
Well, it's because we
Whatever.
know the truth and we know who he really is,
Yeah.
and I mean, it's gonna come out eventually, and everybody is gonna know eventually. I don't care how long it takes.
Yeah.
They're going to
I'm
find out.
gonna say it here. He's like the Weinstein of YouTube. Honestly, I mean,
Absolutely.
there's so many women that haven't spoke and come forward yet that we know of that aren't ready because they are embarrassed. And and hopefully Jade and everybody else, I mean, they realize that like once they speak, it's like a huge weight lifted. I know I felt like I was so nervous the night I went on Saggy's stream for it to first talk about it. I was shaking. My heart was pounding, and now it's like so easy to get on and talk about it because I know like Shadow said, we didn't do anything wrong. I mean, I was honest. I said, yeah, I consented. Then I withdrew my consent. It'd be different if I just said, well, I never consented.
Like, why don't you think he's talking about it on his channel? Because he's got nothing to say that will make him look good.
Right.
No, exactly. And why does he block people who ask questions?
Simple questions.
Go ahead.
Not even anything that is like incriminating.
And why, I got to ask everybody this, why would numerous women lie? What do we have to gain from lying?
Right. Busy moms, people who have families and things to do. Like it would make no sense.
Right.
To someone who is so just his face just like pisses me off. But I gotta go, ladies. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Have a good night.
All right.
Okay. Have a good night.
Thank you, Jade.
Thank you, Jade. I also think that Andy doesn't talk about it on his lives or anything, because if he does, then he's going to bring more attention to the women that he's already messing with at the present moment.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I was told that there are women in that community at that time. I was told there are women. He was messing with numerous women at the time, and some are maybe
right.
consensual.
But if he's on his channel right now talking about your situation and Jade's situation, he's going to bring attention to himself that he's done it before. He'll never let the other women know that they've done it before, because to them, he's only talking to them and no one else. That's a part of the lie that he sells,
Well, you guys remember my story about Will getting mad over the other woman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and didn't seem upset over me when it was like the exact same situation. I totally lost my train of thought. My point is like, I was told there's always at least, I think it was 5 or 6 at a time.
Yeah.
Yep. Same. I've heard that too. And it's like, if he would actually stop and address it or take accountability, he literally loses his buffet, right? Because that's what 700,000. That's his buffet, and it's
and he's going to keep doing it as long as people keep sweeping it under the rug.
Right. I mean, and there are people out there that think, why are we still talking about that? How about each of us go ahead and answer, why are we still talking about this?
I'll start.
Go ahead.
Go
ahead.
I'm still talking about it because I want women to be aware of when they go into his community and he notices you and feels attracted to you, there's a good chance he's going to try to hit on you, probably highly plausible. And I want people to be aware of that their daughters, their nieces, their cousins could be going into that community to be set up for a world full of hurt and disappointment, because he's not what he's trying to put out there. He's not this genuine good guy. He doesn't give a fuck about anybody but himself. And that's what I've got to say about that right now. In the words of Forrest Gump.
Yeah. So, why do you still want to talk about this?
Well, pretty much what Brittany said, but also, oh great, now I lost my train of thought.
Okay, Lola, do you have your train?
I think I do.
Okay.
I just think from being a survivor of DV and the things that we've gone through, and seeing our friends going through it, I can't stop until he stops. And that's just a vow that I made with myself. I won't stop until he stops.
Oh, I've got more I want to add. Are you done? I'm sorry. Nola.
I remembered my train of thought too.
Me too.
Go ahead, Laura. Write it down, Britt. Write it down.
I'm done. Laura,
I did.
Go ahead.
No, Britt, go ahead.
Well, I'm a blonde. I'm going to forget anyway. I shouldn't say that about myself. But my fact of the matter also is, like, you hear so many stories of women who aren't believed. I mean, and it's not always all black and white, but so many women aren't believed. I mean, how many cases are there where women are just hated on because they speak out against something? And how often does that actually happen to men? That's
Right.
a question I have for people. Like, when does that ever happen to men? Like, women are automatically, it's like, looked down upon for speaking out or being sexual. Like, if a woman does something, she's a whore. If a man does it, he gets brownie points. Sort of like that. You guys get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's nobody. That's another reason I continue to speak out. Like, if you don't want to believe me, that's fine. But I know my truth. I know I'm telling the truth. I know I have no reason to lie. So I'm going to keep speaking out about it until something changes. And you know what? If he would come out tomorrow and be like, yeah, I was wrong, I'll quit talking about it.
Right.
I mean,
come out, take some accountability.
Right.
I would think he would have to take accountability for everyone. That's my thing.
Laura, when I called him out, when I called him out originally on Twitter and on my blog, one of the vows I made, and I wrote it down too, was that for everybody in, quote, his community, that if they, because we know what it feels like, we know what having mean things said about us, the feeling of being kind of isolated and all of that, is that when people kind of wise up and they want to leave, is that there's someplace they can go.
Right.
And that, and he does, like Britt said, he's got a buffet. He's got his community and he can just take his pick, and seems like he can just do whatever he wants, whenever he wants. And there needs to be, like you said, Lola, accountability. He's got to take accountability. And if not, then I keep talking. I keep making videos.
That's right. I mean, I mean, whenever somebody tells me not to talk, it just makes me want to talk more.
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
people will be like, well, he's not going to be held accountable in our society. That's just the way our society works. Well, I don't give a fuck, because he should be held accountable, and he should own up to his wrongs instead of like getting on and attacking the women with his, cohorts or co-hosts.
Mm.
He will. Savage Karma said he will never stop pure narc and addict behavior. I do think it's like an addiction, and I do think he has a problem.
Yeah.
Right.
And I agree. And I only think if he keeps getting away with it, it's only going to get worse and worse and worse
Yeah.
until the unimaginable happens.
Absolutely.
And I just want, like I said earlier, it could be your daughter, it could be your niece, a family member. I mean,
Britt.
For
Yeah.
myself,
Mm-hmm.
why do I want to keep talking about it? Just for the simple fact of, like we mentioned earlier, those, I want to say it's seven or eight women that, because of how things went down with April, were literally silent. And even if it was an actual, like, be quiet, just drop it, or they were afraid because of what happened with her, those women, like, what they went through is valid. And for every woman in between those women in 2017 and Brittany, that's a big gap. You can't tell me that he hasn't been doing this the whole time.
No.
And I understand why optically some of, these bigger content creators who are aware of this aren't talking about it. I get it. But for me, I'm not a content creator, even though here I am on YouTube. I don't have that content creator mindset. And my concern is for the people to come after us. And if we could just have one person just kind of be like, yeah, I don't know, something doesn't look right, and save them from having to go through the things that we did, I'm good with that. And I don't really care what anyone else, and I'm saying this to all the lurkers, because every one of your fucking asses are here listening, and you're watching, and you say these things to people, and you say them in ways that is going to mess with their head or get into their head or make them question things. But guess what? I'm here too. So go ahead and keep talking your shit, because I'm still here. I'm not going to let you silence anyone that doesn't want to be quiet. So therefore, I don't care what you think. I don't care what your perception is. I don't care what you want to call me. You can call me whatever fucking name in the book you want. I'm still going to keep talking about the asshole that Andy Signore is. Yep. Agreed. I called you an asshole, Andy. You're an asshole. And I'd say it to your face. Anytime you want to have that chat, we can have that chat. Because the shit that you've done. You know it. I know it. And now a whole lot of other people know it as well. And even if it's the same, how many people do we have in here? Can we get a count?
It's about 50.
We have 50 people here.
50, yeah.
You're at 50.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So even if it's the same 50 people, every time we talk, I'm still going to talk about it. Because I can.
Yeah.
You can judge it. You can call me obsessed. You can say it's pointless. You can say, well, if you keep doing this, nothing's changed. What difference does it make? It makes a difference because I'm still talking. Where those 7 or 8 women before were silent. It's not going to happen to me at all. I'm not afraid of any one of those motherfuckers over there. And I'd gladly have a chat with any of them. just the way that it's going to be. So even if there was 5 people here, we would continue to keep talking because we can. Because this is a thing that we all went through. Even
Shotgun makes a good point. It only takes one person to start, so 50 people is a good start.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to cut you off. Yeah.
I also want to say to the creators out there that could be possibly watching this and deciding not to cover it, what you don't think about is your community that you say that you love and appreciate so much is crossed over with Andy's community, probably. And if you loved and appreciated them so much, why would you want that happening to one of your community? And that's the thing that upsets me. It's because, you know, if I was a more popular YouTuber and I had my own community, like we had with Andy's, I would be damn sure shouting it from the rooftops to make sure none of my community were affected. And that's what bothers me in all of this, is that some creators just don't want to cover it without realizing the effect it has on their community.
Agreed.
I agree too.
Jenny, sorry, real quick. Jenny, I've heard that name a lot. I really don't know. And so all I'll say is, like, if anybody knows how to contact her, I mean, contact her, tell her you're thinking about her. You know, like, that's a really good thing to do.
Okay, there was another question from 007 Angelo. It's a question for us. How does it make you feel that there are women on Andy's community enabling and defending him? Now, if you're talking about, let's say, Steph,
and Kim, let's throw Kim in that as well.
They're as bad as he is.
Yeah,
they are because they're
complicit and they're allowing it to happen, and they're not standing up to him.
And because they're women doing this,
with histories of SA and their past, like, that just brings it to a whole different level for me.
Yeah,
it makes me feel like they're just I know they know. I know some of not the ladies in the community maybe, but the ones that work closely with him, they know. And for them, I feel like they've sold out in a way.
I know Kim knows because we told her. Like, I know for a fact she does.
It makes me feel sad. Really, it does. I personally think that women should support women, and yeah, like, it makes me kind of like sad and kind of queasy feeling because they know what's going on. Even though if they want to be like, nah, I don't know nothing, they know. They do know. And not only are they complicit, but they're a part of it.
Yes.
Right.
So, in my opinion, someone that is a victim, be it of, SA, DV, any of it,
right.
For them to name call other, fellow survivors,
homewreckers,
yep,
without
so much as even asking a question, mind you. It's sad. It's really sad.
Well,
I honestly thought Kim was a pretty good girl. I mean, she didn't really stand when she was in headlines. She didn't stand out to me a whole lot. I mean, she seemed really nice, and me and her never really got to know each other personally. And then the next thing I know, the girl has 26,000 subscribers. And I'm like, wow. No wonder she doesn't want to, back us up, even though she knows. So, but go ahead.
When it comes to the audience of Andy, the women there that take up for him and stuff like that, I can say personally, in the past, I defended him because I believed his lies.
So did I.
So, as far as the women in the community, when they say stuff, and they go after us, I understand because I was that person before as well. And I just know that they're going to wake up one day and they're going to feel as horrible as what we did for sticking up for him. So that part doesn't bother me, but the
No.
women on his channel absolutely do.
Well, we
Yeah.
talked to Kim, and I know some people went to Steph.
Yeah.
You know, they thought that they had, a champion there. And I mean, I sent an email to both her and Andy, and Andy's the only one that contacted me. I never actually talked to Steph.
Right.
So,
Like
she goes on there, he's my brother. I wouldn't, I wouldn't.
Well, and you know what?
No, it's her
To that, yeah, to that, I'll say this: you can, you can choose to still support Andy and be friends with him and be brothers or whatever the hell you want, but at least, like, there could have been a question of, so what's going on, right? It's the blind just following for me. It's, Andy says, don't look at this, don't ask them, don't talk about it, and they just comply. And I agree with what you guys said. Anyone in the community that is, defending, we all get it. Again, hear me loudly. We all did it. We all defended him. We all went to war for him.
Yep.
We all believed him because he told us just enough for all of us to think, wow, like, that sucks. Like, here's my little backstory real quick, you guys. I didn't know who Andy was. I had no idea.
I didn't either.
And one day I said to my significant other, I said, like, this is cool. Look at this. And he was like, yeah, I know him. He's a douche. And I was like, wait, what? No, he's not. What do you mean? And he was like, well, didn't he like R-word someone or something like that? I'm like, no. You're wrong. No. Like, listen, he made a video on it. Like, he said it. There I was, my literal significant other who has nothing to do. He doesn't like hang with us. He doesn't, and I'm sitting there giving him the PR statement that Andy put out. Like, no, this girl lied. Like, she did da-da-da, I bought that. And so imagine my surprise, right? When I knew something was wrong with Britt, I knew that she was being, like, something was going on with her. And when she finally...
I remember I was in tears when I first told you about it. I was like, I was bawling.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah. And I was just like, I can't even... I couldn't believe what I was...
You were pissed. You were pissed.
I was pissed. I was mad. I was big mad. I was like, this motherfucker is going to fuck it all up. Like, he's going to burn it all down. Like, did he not learn? Like, what the fuck is he doing?
He apparently didn't.
And now that people protecting him... Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Protecting him and enabling him, they're not his friends. If they were actually truly friends of his, if they cared about him, they'd say, what the fuck, dude? Get it together. But they don't, probably because they all get to look at all the pictures. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, the thing is, like, he's going to ruin all of his money supply. And I can't imagine him working at a Best Buy or a grocery store or whatever. Like, this is his life. Like, he can't go out and get another job. And he's going to ruin the one thing that he was good at because he couldn't keep the little worm in its pants.
Brittany, there's a message for you.
Peanut and Delicato is who? What
No, go ahead.
message?
I think it's one of our comments, but go ahead, answer. Pina.
Well, she said especially when Steph, Pina and Delicato, and I'm sorry if I don't say that right, especially when Steph is in charge of all his social media, so she definitely would know. And that's true because he didn't add, that's another thing, he did not add Steph until after I came out to his social media. So he hurried up and cleared the chat that I had left from him and I. But I had already screenshotted everything anyway when I knew I was going to do this. It's just something he must have forgot about that was still there, which it wasn't much because, like I said, he tried to secret chat all the time. But yeah, he did that to try to cover his ass. But it's not like it was quite obvious for anybody who has been in his community for a while that Steph wasn't added until after I came out. But what's the question, Shadow?
No, I texted you.
Okay, you texted me? Okay, let me find it.
Anyway, guys, so while we're at it and she's reading text and stuff like that, just so you guys can get an idea of how much money he makes.
Oh, yeah. Let's do this because I got to follow up to her, y'all. Go for it.
All right. So we're going to do it just based on the subscribers that have memberships, right? Normally, one could estimate that at least 10% of people of his community would be members. So in order to be extremely fair, we decided to figure out how much money is he going to make off of 2.5% of his subs and 5% of his subs being members. Not
okay, you ready, y'all? We're mathing now.
We're
ready?
Mathing. So, also to be really fair, we just assumed that we do the math at the lowest tier only. The lowest tier is $7.99 a month now. Can you believe that, guys? It was only like $4 when we were there. But anyway, at 2.5% of subs, which he has 690,000 subs, that means that's 17,250 members. It's $137,827.50 per month.
And that's at what, 2.5%?
That's 2.5%.
Wow, what a broke bitch. What a broke bitch.
Right.
If 5% at 5% of his subs being members at the lowest tier, it would be $275,655 per month at the lowest tier.
What we just did.
That's not including
anything.
Higher tiers, super chats, super stickers, Cash App, and all of it.
Right. So let's recap what we just did. So Lola took 2.5% of his sub count, right? His sub count, 2.5% and 5% of that number as paid members at the lowest tier, right?
Yeah. So I really lowballed it just to get an estimate.
Because you can pull up, what is that, Social Blade, and that, everybody knows you have to take that with a grain of salt. So it's like, we did it this way with the math written out, there it is. That's what he would be getting, guaranteed, because it's membership.
Every month.
And he goes on every day begging for more. And like she said, that doesn't include the super chats, the super stickers, the Cash App, PayPal, all the other apps that he has. Donated.
Eating pickles and olives for fun.
That doesn't, right. That doesn't count his AdSense even. That doesn't even go in. That's just one teeny.
Or his views.
Right. So then.
Can I just say, go ahead.
I asked Belle to follow this up with a link because I know if y'all are on Twitter, I know most of you from Twitter. There's a couple of accounts on there that have been super vocal and super supportive, and we love them very much. One of them is Bombastic Boar, and I don't want to assume gender, so I'll just say they. They posted this one post that I saw, and it blew my mind. And it's a breakdown of all the vacations, holidays, the trips, right, that Andy has taken. So, like, from June of 2021 until March of 2023, he has been on 20 vacations. And we're talking June of 21 to Mexico, July was DC, August was Disney in Vegas. And I know, Lola, you want to say about Disney since you used to live in
I used to live in Tampa, and I can say, for me personally, I had yearly passes to either Disney or Universal. It was only an hour away, so we would go there every weekend. So for me, seeing that he goes to Disney World, it's really nothing.
Right. But like in that August of 21 was a trip to Disney and Vegas. There's Vegas #1, right? November was Chicago and Tucson, Arizona. Then we go up to like 2022. March, he went to Vegas again and then hit like the Grand Canyon and the Hoover Dam, I believe it was. April, Vegas #3, which that was the trip that we were all supposed to go on as well.
Yes.
May was New Orleans. July was Cancun. August, New York City. September, New York City. October, Boston. November, Vegas #4. And that, mind you, was when they went to see Johnny, which was fan funded, right? Because like they didn't pay for it.
Nice. Oh, go down. Oh, look! No,
I don't know that one.
Oh, we got
that one here. Up above.
The one up above that. Like, yeah, look at that. Oh my God.
No, the one. Wait, if you keep scrolling up, Laura, there's one that he really needs like a jet pick.
Oh my God. Okay, can I finish my list, please, y'all?
Yeah.
November also, the same month that he met Johnny, the same month that we all started talking, he went to California to hang with his boys. Got to go to LA. And then December was New York City again. And then this year, where Disney with Steph, you know, she came over. February was in Colorado. And then just recently, he went to Puerto Rico. So again, folks, this man is not certain for cash.
Nope. By the way, sorry, that picture was horrifying and look. I wanted to come on because I wanted to say I'm so proud of you, ladies, for putting this together because like I also want to stress like these women aren't YouTube content creators. This is not something they're used to doing. This is not something they're known for doing. They were just viewers. You know, they were viewers of a YouTube channel that they came together and found. And they're not professionals, you know what I mean? Like, I'm so happy that you guys learned how to use StreamYard. And mind you, I want to say I didn't help them do a goddamn thing. Like, this is all on them. And I'm so proud of you ladies for putting this together, coming together and talking about this. And no matter what happens, because I know it's frustrating that, you know, Andy just continues to do what he does, doesn't take accountability, doesn't get the help he clearly needs. But the best thing that I can say that everyone should take out of this is like we found each other. We found people who are absolutely amazing. We are very, you know, you ladies on this panel, you have been amazing friends to me. And I am honestly, out of all this disgusting shit that went on with Andy and stuff, it's like the best thing that came out of it is that we found each other. And I'm so freaking proud of you ladies for doing this. I really am.
We love you, Saggy.
Thank you, Saggy. We love you. I just got a quick question. Is Nameless Paul?
No.
Yes.
No.
Britt.
No.
No.
Hold on, wait. Is that Paul?
No.
No.
Well, hold on.
Good Lord.
I just want to answer Bill. He put, "Hey Britt, what was it that made you come out when you did?" Because it seemed to be what started the ball rolling. Because Bill, I saw when all the Johnny Depp Amber Heard fighting was going on Twitter, I saw some of the girls here fighting, some of the beautiful women here fighting with some Andy supporters on Andy minions, I should say, on Twitter, and they were calling them liars. And I just popped in and I put, "She ain't lying," or something like that. And basically, so I got back in touch with Shadow and Nola, who I used to talk to all the time at Popcorn Planet. And they offered to support me if I would come out and talk about it, got me in touch with Saggy here. And that's what started the ball rolling, I guess, with my story anyway. And although I think there's been more before me, obviously, I know there's been more before me, but I also saw him saying that he was a victim and all this stuff, and he's not a victim. So that really pissed me off too. So that's basically what started the ball rolling. And then that's when other people, a few others, started coming forward.
Brett, check your text.
Well, I will say this too before you do that, but I'll say this. I had been calling out Andy for how he treated people for a while, and there's a lot of people out there, a lot of people who have had fallen outs with Andy, bad interaction with Andy. They've called him out before, it went ignored, it was all just drama, whatever. So most people got swept under the rug, but obviously people who still have a bad taste in their mouth, no pun intended, because gross, from Andy, we still see the things that happen. Anytime somebody else had a falling out with Andy, we would always see it somehow, some way, somebody who actively still somehow, some reason watches his stuff. They'll that, and that's what they do. That's how YouTube is the YouTube community, we always watch each other. We watch our enemies and things like that, because this is just the norm now. So when we came across the video of somebody who made a video kind of saying a little bit about what happened with what all these women are saying, there was somebody who came out and did a video and basically told their story, and also kind of hinted at what happened with Brittany. And that kind of got a lot of people that video floated around. I first came across that video because it's posted in one of my DM groups, and they were like, "Oh my God, Saggy, Andy's doing something bad," and we're like, "What?" And we checked out the video and we watched it, and we're like, "Holy crap, this is if they're hinting at what we think they're hinting at, this is bad, because this is Andy's doing the same thing he got legit canceled for back in 2017, and that's what brought me to them." And I remember commenting on that video and said, "Hey, there's a lot of people out there who believe you and have bad experiences similar to what you ladies are going through. If you want to, we're here for you. There's a lot of people that he's burned like this and that he's done awful things to. So, there is a community out there, people who can understand." And that's how I kind of got involved with all of these women, is that situation.
Mm-hmm. Creatrix. Oh, sorry. I just wanted to say that last comment in there. It doesn't matter, when it comes to somebody's family and kids, it's not what it's about. Because he has a couple, but does anybody see what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Yes, he has, he's had his son on his live stream. So he's got obviously more than one. But it's irrelevant here. It's neither here nor there. It doesn't change,
Going after his family, we're going after him.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Hey, astronaut, how are you?
Oh,
welcome,
yes.
astronaut. Thanks for coming in. Hello.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I didn't plan to come on.
Change your gain.
Am I good?
You're a little bit echoey.
Yeah.
Echoey.
Yeah, I'm on my phone. That's why.
Oh.
Yeah, because I'm like on break.
Gotcha.
He still sounds clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Yeah. What about that? Better?
Much better.
Better? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, as I was saying, this is the last time I'm probably going to ever talk about this. Good luck to you guys, I guess. My name used to be Halogen Helix or Mr. Helix, and I had a YouTube channel that was growing exponentially, not off the drama of this guy, but off of movie talk and things that I wanted to do. I have not talked about him since midway through last year because the drama and subsequent other drama that led from his cohorts led to the ending of my relationship. So I, for the good of myself and the other person, went offline to protect ourselves, and I deleted everything to protect myself and to be not associated with him. People who know what my name is. People who only just made a Twitter account and came back to the land of the internet. I have no interest in gaining followers off of drama. I have no interest in drama in general. I'm just here to say that I support what you guys are doing. I did not, I was a part of the Popcorn Planet before this, news group, before the grifting of Britney Spears and Johnny Depp. I was there when we were talking about pop culture because that's what I cared about. Even though he would like to deny it, if anybody can't check now, but back in the day, I released everything to do with him. And he talked about me being on Inner Circle. I have refused to speak on him because I want to protect people. But I think that what you guys are doing, you need solidarity, especially because of what he's been doing behind the scenes, I guess now. Just listening to you guys, just reading that document made me sick. And just to prove, I guess, that I'm not about drama, there was, I forget who it was, but a few of you reached out to me because you saw that I was fighting him and asked me to, talk about this stuff that was happening with you. And I referred you to a much larger streamer because I didn't want to be involved directly with him or have my name attached to him anymore because of the hurt that that was received by someone that I still dearly care about. Even coming on the stream is kind of a risky thing for me, given the history. But those who know, and those who don't. But yeah, I just wanted to say that I support you guys, and I hope that you find your peace. I hope that just know when to just let somebody else take up the baton, I guess. Don't do what I did and become toxic and become so vengeful that you forget the people that actually care about you and you end up damaging them because you're so focused on trying to get somebody, trying to make justice. I get justice, which is what I always guided under, justice. And I end up hurting the one that I cared about the most. And so, yeah, just be careful. I guess that's what I'm saying. Like, don't go too far. Like, know when it's time, and you'll know because I knew, and I didn't listen, and I ended up hurting people that I was trying to protect. Ironically, the most pain came from me, not from that dickhead. So, yeah, just I guess that's the one thing lesson I've learned out of this is that in the end, you've got to look out for your own self and don't get so focused that you dig 2 graves, because revenge is a double-edged sword, and you dig 2 graves when you go down that road. And that's how I had to bury myself basically, and kill my online persona in order to get away from it all. So that's basically all I have to say, I guess.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
I appreciate you so much.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry you went through all that, and I appreciate you
and I will say,
support us.
and I will say this, that is why I went as hard as I did and still go as hard as I do, because I do care about people. And when I see people hurt, even people if at the time I didn't care about them or I didn't like them or there was some discourse between me and that person, when I hear someone in pain, I put all of that any issues I had with that person aside, and I reach out and I say, listen, I don't like seeing anyone like that. Anyone going through any mental issues, like I don't like that, especially when it's like you got hurt. Somebody that was awful, and we started seeing that Andy was awful, and we knew that people were being manipulated, but we couldn't do anything because when it comes to people being manipulated, you have to wait for that brainwash to kind of go away, for people to wake up and see it with their own eyes. And when people did, and I saw that, it broke my heart when I saw what he did to somebody that I that would come at us for him, fight for him, did all of that for him. That was somebody who was loyal. That was somebody who thought that was a friend. And to see that hurt me, because I actually care about people, and I would never do what he did to a lot of these people he's hurt. And that's why I fought. And that's why I never let people forget all the stuff that he's done and who he's done it to. Because even though they might not want to speak, I want their stories out there too. And their stories are out there, because he has done a lot of bad. He's treated people like trash and have benefited off of their work and had them fight for him, and to toss them out like they were garbage is unacceptable. So that's why I got involved, and that's why I fight, and that's why I'm here, and that's why I know all the people I know that are involved in this, because I can't sit by and stay silent. If you're sitting by and staying silent, to me, you're just complicit.
Yep. And I want to say that to the whole, wish for peace. Talking, being amongst people that have gone through this, who, even some people that are in a worse off place than we are at this moment, that's what brings me peace. And not being afraid, honestly, like not being afraid is yet another aspect that brings me peace. So I just want to say, thank you for coming on to speak. We all know, what that took.
Yeah.
And, you have a safe space here always. So not to jump in, not to speak, not to talk, just, you're not alone. Behind the scenes, you're not alone. Like we got you too.
I do like the way it seems like we've all became a family.
Yeah.
These are friendships that will never end because we have gone through so much, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I just really, really appreciate all the people who have come forward and shown so much support to us, and really have been so caring and kind. And it's really helped me. It's the people like you guys who have helped me to feel empowered, including all the close friends you guys here in the chat with me, here on the stream with me, have made me feel strong enough to deal with it. and to be able to go out there and be brave. If it weren't for any of y'all, I wouldn't have been brave enough to do this. So I don't know what I would have done without any of y'all. I may sound corny now, but I love you all so much. For real.
Love you too, girl.
We love you too. Yeah.
And I didn't really recap my story tonight, but I think most everybody here has heard of it anyway. And I shared my link in the chat for anybody who doesn't know my personal story with Andy. So there's a video of me just talking about it. So I don't think I need to really recap it here anyway. But again, I appreciate all of you.
We're all hiding behind shadow right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm moving it now. I just realized that. I was like, who is this beautiful face looking at me?
Who better to hide behind than Shadow, though? So
she's bad.
I do like your hair in that picture, Saggy. I love it.
Yeah. And everyone in the chat, like I said earlier, this isn't the last time we're going to do this. And to the, the lurkers and the trolls and the minions, you're welcome to come on and talk. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? By all means, please speak up, say something.
The worst that will happen is they won't be invited back to Popcorn Planet.
Exactly.
Oh man, really?
Yeah, against the block.
Why would you go on there? Why would you listen to them? They're lying. Why would you listen to them? You listening to them means you don't believe me.
Andy is watching right now. He is.
Yeah. Well, Lewis is for sure. So.
Oh, for sure, Lewis. I guess
somebody
got
watching
promotion,
so he's not.
Listen. I will say this, Andy. Can you at least pay these people to do all this free investigative work for you? Like, at least give them some money. If you're gonna have them stalk us to make sure what we're saying and archive everything, could you at least start giving them some money? Because I mean, that's a lot of time consuming.
Saggy, why would he
fund me for that?
He's so broke. That's why he has to have super chats and stuff, because he doesn't make enough money.
The people in the chat, give me a 1 if you were there when the 2-drink minimum was started. If you 2-drink minimum, you know what I mean? 2-drink minimum, everybody.
What does it mean?
I was there.
He fell 1. He actually, so when we first started moderating, the spiel that we were supposed to push was, like, comment, subscribe, and for people that would be like, I don't have enough money to, send a super chat or to whatever, or to be a member, we were supposed to say, it's okay. Like, it's just as important, you being here and commenting and liking, like, that's just as important as donating. Well, that then changed to, if you go to a bar, like, you can't just sit at the bar, like, it's a 2-drink minimum. So, like, this is your entertainment, so you have to pay for it. So if you're here, like,
never mind that YouTube pays you.
Yeah, that's it.
And memberships,
and the memberships, yeah.
So it's not just ad revenue; it's the membership, which is what Matthew went over.
Wait, we can ask people to drink, but a 2-drink minimum, like a $2 minimum.
Yeah. No, not a $2 minimum. It's a 2-drink minimum. So that would be around $20.
Yeah, that's depending on where you live. Yes, it could be $20, but you had to pay something, and that's also when he stopped acknowledging anyone that didn't pay. Yes. So, one thing I really want to say real quick, and then I guess we're gonna maybe head out, wrap this up. But to those over there that say they never ask for donations, they'll say, if you're so inclined, here is the link tree and all of the things that you could give me. I'm sorry, but when you don't acknowledge your audience, especially someone that used to read every single comment that was typed, when you stop doing that and only read super chats or, what's the other one? Stream Elements, is it? Mm-hmm. That you don't, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. That kind of sets a precedent. That means if you want me to talk to you, you need to pay me.
Right. And because you're paying for a service that has to be reported for tax purposes. So good luck with that. And I've never asked for money. I said if you wanted to donate, this is where it's going.
What accent is that?
I don't know.
But
I just made it up
but
on the fly.
I will share my Amazon wish list and have you people buy me toilet paper.
Yes, toilet paper. That's it. Can't ever have enough of that.
I like black toilet paper.
Whatever you need to tell yourself to sleep at night, chica, you go ahead and just tell yourself that. It's not that you're a greedy fuck, just like your brother. You're completely fine. It's fine. Keep telling yourself that.
It's brother, by the way.
Brother.
Okay, I have to point this out. Tigress Love. He made me cry because I felt bad, but you guys told me it was okay. And that's the thing, is that he's good at what he does. He's a con man. He's a con man.
There were a lot of people that came up to me and was saying that they feel so bad because he doesn't have any money and they watch so often that they didn't know whether to give him their last money that they had for medications or for food. And I was like, absolutely not. He can survive without that.
Right. That's when when people were saying to us, like, I don't know, I can't get my medicine, this week, but like I gave it to him, or we were like, please don't do that.
More. It was always he needs it more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't. He just doesn't.
No.
Especially if you pay for a membership, that is your damn 2-drink minimum.
Absolutely.
Yep.
But I don't know. I still think like if you work the headline. Go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying that's his 2-drink minimum is you're a member. Like you get that every month. But he wants it every day.
But even people like us that work broke. Right. And for us that worked in headlines or were mods, you should be paying me, not the other way around.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And he's the only big YouTuber I've seen, him and his cohorts, that do what he does. Yeah. Right. Well, or that don't pay their help. I mean, I watch others that are as big as him.
I wonder if he doesn't pay them, because if he does, then it becomes an employer thing. And
yeah, exactly.
Well, what happened in his past.
He could even just say, like, here's a donation, right? Something. It could be something. Damn well, like, I think when we were there, I never got involved with the headline groups, but, like, he always dangled that carrot out in front of everyone. Yeah. Like, keep doing this, and if we get big enough, like, you could be a producer, and, or I could, we'll get your channel up and running. Like, it was always out there for people, and I think it's like the members of the headline groups, they're all like-minded individuals. They enjoy, deep diving and finding out information and vetting sources and, building this up to say, look, this is great and this is why, and it's legit. So it's not just like in my first impression of it was just grab headlines and send it in there. Like, oh, this looks cool, send it in. Right. And for like the link chat was that. Anyone could send anything there. But the headline group, these people actually like looked into these headlines and made sure they were credible sources, that, all of the facts in there checked out. So, I mean, just that one little aspect of it was, and God forbid if you mention or complain about anything, because everybody with me now, what's the response? It's volunteer. You decided to do it for free.
Right.
Yep.
I never said I would pay you. Like,
yeah.
It's just another aspect of him that takes advantage of other people. Simple as that.
Yep. I agree.
But
that's part of the con man way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think next time, we can go over cults. And what is a cult? What actually is a cult?
Oh, yeah. I've got the checklist.
Yeah. What is the checklist? And does he mark all those boxes?
Right. And then the hypocrisy list, y'all. You will love it. You'll love to hear my hypocrisy list. And we can go over that too. And then again, also like check in with Britt and Jade if she's available. We'll see how, Britt's hanging, holding up after this incendiary live stream of the bored housewives, y'all. That's what we are. We're just a bunch of bored housewives.
Yes,
we're bored housewives. But if any of y'all need to get in touch with us, Britt, I think you wrote all of our you did
our Twitters are in the descriptions. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So if you
yeah.
want to contact any of us, there's our info, and we'd be ready and willing to hear. Yeah. I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna say bye to everybody and then mute because Mariny's calling me.
Okay. I hear her.
Bye, guys. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night. Bye, Nola. Yeah, our Twitters are in the descriptions and Laura at Simply Belle is on YouTube, and her YouTube is in the description also. So go like and subscribe to her channel. And also, if you want, you can like and subscribe to my channel. Also,
yeah, do it here first.
Yeah. Do it here first. And then follow Laura. Simply
you can like and subscribe here, and then follow Laura.
I think Saggy's got a channel too.
Oh yeah, she does. There's a Saggy Melons chick. I don't know if y'all have heard of her.
What? No. I heard that Saggy Melons chick is crazy and no one should listen to her.
I think she's kind of hot. Just saying.
I think she's kind of crazy. I think y'all are just need to understand that you should just ignore Saggy Melons on Saggy Melons TV.
I heard she's got really cute feet. I'm just saying.
Crazy.
They look like larger baby feet. They're so cute.
Oh my god! Listen, I just heard that Saggy Melons is an awesome person. She's an Andy Signore hate channel, and she's loud and she swears a lot. And you guys should just ignore her and don't listen to any of these women. They're crazy when they talk about how cool Saggy Melons is. She's a bitch.
Yeah, and
please don't ever refer to
about you, Saggy.
Oh shoot! Hey, can I just say this, please, Brittany? Do not ever, don't ever, 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 do not ever refer to Saggy's feet as baby feet. That's they're adorable and cute. Like
baby feet are cute.
So this stream has escalated. This stream has definitely derailed into something I was not expecting.
Okay.
Baby feet are so cute. But anyway, you guys should go subscribe to Saggy Melons.
Yeah, don't listen to the voice on the screen. Saggy Melons.
Don't subscribe to Saggy Melons. Don't subscribe.
She's Saggy's enemy. She doesn't know. She just doesn't like her. But
not really sad. It's a bad.
Saggy's a bully. Don't subscribe to her. Do yourself a favor.
We're all bullies, remember?
Yeah, we're all mean girls.
Mean girls.
Mean girls.
40, 50-year-old wives.
Bored wives.
Wait, can I just say I'm not 40 yet? I'm not 40 yet.
I'm not 50 yet.
I'm not 40. I'm going to be 59 in 2 days, though.
Happy birthday in 2 days.
Thank you.
Happy birthday. Sorry, I was late with that.
All right, y'all. Have a great night. I guess we're going to get going. We'll keep you all updated when our next show is.
We will. Absolutely.
Spread the word and keep coming back, I hope. So.
Yes. Hopefully everyone comes back.
Yes, because we have more.
Much, much more.
Yes.
So much more. We'll do updates too on some of the things that we talked about in here. Hopefully, maybe next time.
Yeah, like maybe we can do more of a question and answer type deal too next time.
We could.
Tonight, yeah.
Absolutely.
We're going to give everybody homework. Bring us questions. Must have questions.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it went pretty good tonight, though. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in.
Yes, thank you, everybody.
All right, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Good night. Sleep
night.
tight.
Sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams. Toodles.
You gotta hit the button twice. You didn't hit the button,
Okay.
Brittany.
Figure out how to get
twice.
Gotta hit the
Is it
button.
end broadcast? End
Yes,
broadcast?
end broadcast, and then hit the button that says okay.
Are you?
We'll
Is that
figure
step
it
one?
out.
Is there a step two? I just didn't want to end it yet. I was having fun saying bye.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure because I'm like, it didn't say end stream. Listen, they're not YouTubers. We're working on it. They'll get better next time. I promise.
No, you hang up first.
Right?
I love you. I love you too. I love you. I miss you more.
I love you more. Okay. Bye, y'all.
Bye. Love you.
Love you
End
too.
broadcast. End broadcast. Okay. Love you. Bye.